Today I'm going to read to you The Littles Make a Friend. This is a Littles first reader, and I want you to remember that I picked this book because the cover looked interesting to me. I looked inside to see if the words were just right, and most of them I knew, and I was interested in what was going on in the book. So I'm going to go ahead and read this. I also want to remind you that as we read this book, we're going to look at the pictures on each page just to see what's going on in the story for a few seconds, just to help us with some of the vocabulary that we're reading. Mr. and Mrs. Little were barely 6 inches small. Their children, Tom and Lucy, were even shorter. So was Granny Little. All the Littles had nice long tails. Except for that, they looked just like you and me. The whole family lived in the walls of Mr. and Mrs. Biggs' house. They got all they needed from the Biggs. A yummy big dinner scrap made a fine meal for a hungry Little. A torn sock was a cozy little sleeping bag. The Biggs had no idea the Littles were there, but the Littles could see and hear the Biggs quite easily. One day they heard the Biggs planning their summer vacation. Another family was going to stay in the house while they were gone. I hope they don't have a cat, Lucy said. The other Littles nodded. They were all afraid of cats. The Littles felt better when the new people moved in. Mr. and Mrs. Newcomb did not have a cat. There was only one problem. The Newcombs turned out to be horrible housekeepers. Before long, the house was a total mess. Granny wagged her finger. "Mark my words," she said, "there will soon be mice in this house." And so there were. The Newcombs did not even notice, but the Littles sure did. A mouse to a Little is as scary as a lion is to you and me. "We have to make the Newcombs see the horrid beasts," said Mr. Little. Then they will set traps." The Littles had a family meeting. "I have an idea," said Tom. "I could dress up like a mouse and run right under Mrs. Newcomb's nose. I bet she'd notice that." Tom's plan sounded dangerous, but no one had a better idea. Granny Little picked up her needle and thread and went to work. The mouse suit was a perfect fit. Granny had made ears and whiskers, but of course she didn't need to make a tail. There was no time to lose. Tom dashed into the kitchen right between Mrs. Newcomb's feet. "Eek!" Mrs. Newcomb screamed. "A mouse!" The Littles jumped up and down. They were sure Tom's plan had worked. But no, the Newcombs didn't get a mousetrap. They got a cat instead, a big, hairy, scary cat. Oh no, Lucy said. One cat is worse than 1,000,000 mice. It will eat us all. Not if we can tame it, said Tom. Cats have always been friends to big people. Why not us? Granny wasn't sure. A cat is no friend to a little, she said. But Mr. Little said, it's worth a try. They found the cat in the cellar. Mr. Little rolled a ball of yarn toward her. He had heard that cats like yarn. The cat woke up. She looked at the yarn. She looked at the littles. Uh-oh. Here, kitty, kitty, Tom said bravely. The cat cocked her head at the sound of his voice. Suddenly, the cat made a soft humming sound. Tom reached up and touched her fur. Nice kitty, he said. The humming got louder. I think she's purring, Tom said. That means she likes us. It must have been the talking, said Mr. Little. I don't think she knew we were people until she heard Tom speak. From then on, Tom and the cat were friends. Two friends went everywhere together, and all the mice went somewhere else. I hope you enjoyed this book, The Littles, and I hope that looking at the pictures first before you read helped you with some of the words that you might not have known. Don't forget to do that when you read on your own, my friends.